guys already know that this channel is about making lots of money in GTA Online, and I've already made guides on pretty much every single business and heist that you can think of, but what if I told you that there's an easy way to become a billionaire in GTA Online without actually doing anything? As in, you literally don't have to really touch the controller at all. You can just sit back, watch some Netflix, browse some YouTube, doom scroll on Twitter, whatever it is that you like to do in your spare time, while your businesses rake in boatloads of cash in the background. Sounds far-fetched, but believe it or not, it's still very possible in 2026, because no matter how hard that Rockstar tries to weed out various AFK methods, you can bet that there's some 200 IQ basement scientists out there who's found a new way to sneak past this game's decade-old spaghetti code. And in today's video, I'll be sharing a few of those secret techniques with you guys. But before we get into actual AFK tricks for 2026, I want to talk about the ethics of doing something like this in GTA Online. Normally, I try to avoid strategies that talk about glitching or breaking the game to make money, which is why I don't post videos about Kaio or casino replay glitches, even though I'm well aware of their existence. I just think that sort of stuff is kind of lame, and it also defeats the whole purpose of playing GTA Online. I mean, it is a video game after all. We're all playing to have fun, right? And so if you don't enjoy the process, I don't think that there's even a point to making millions of dollars of virtual cash, because it's entirely useless outside of the game anyway. However, when it comes to passive businesses in this game that involve zero player activity, businesses which essentially function like timers that require you to stay active just so you can watch that cash trickle in, I think we can make an exception for those. That's because most of us have responsibilities that prevent us from playing 10 hours a day in GTA Online, whether it's school, a job, real life hobbies, going outside and touching grass, whatever. You're not exactly committing a crime just by finding a loophole in Rockstar's code. Besides, nothing that I'm about to show you here today involves a mod menu or hacks of any kind, so rest assured, you will not get banned. And I even have a few physical hacks that don't rely on any software at all, so Rockstar can't possibly patch any of these out of the game. Or at least, it's unlikely to, because while they have gotten ahead of it in Red Dead Online for the past few years, they still haven't touched it in GTA Online particularly. Like for example, the good old rubber band on your analog stick trick that's been around not just in GTA Online, but many other games as well, and this method has worked since the dawn of time itself. It's really simple. All you have to do when you want to put the game away is take a rubber band and wrap it around both of your analog sticks on the controller, or just one analog stick. It doesn't really matter as long as the other end of the rubber band is attached to something. This creates tension in the band and forces your analog stick to constantly send input signals into the game, telling GTA that there is still someone behind the wheel, so to speak. Some folks have claimed that this no longer works because the game apparently tests input variants to make sure you aren't just pressing the same key or making the same command over and over. In Red Dead Online, that is absolutely a thing. We haven't just been able to strap a rubber band to our controller for a few years now to farm gold in that game. However, I tried this method not too long ago for GTA Online, and it still worked for me, so I recommend you test it out just on the off chance that it still works, because it's very likely to be still working. And honestly, there's nothing more simple than a rubber band on your controller, and when you use this technique, make sure to keep your controller plugged in if it's a wireless model. Otherwise, your battery will of course run out before the end of the day, and that's when the game will kick you out. A nightclub will take about 20 hours or so of real time before you get to a point where you would want to offload it, and a bunker without the mansion speed boost is about 11 hours and 40 minutes of play time. So make sure your controller stays plugged in, and if you're worried about damaging the analog stick on your shiny new DualSense Edge, you can also use an old controller that probably already has stick drift, or just some dusty old warped controller that you don't use anymore. Or you can even open up the menu screen and place your controller down on the bumper so you're constantly scrolling through the menu options themselves. This way, you'll achieve the same effect as a rubber band, minus the risk of damaging your analog sticks. Also, if you have one of those newer controller designs with Hall effect sticks, I don't think you have to worry about stick drift at all, even with the rubber band technique. If you're using mouse and keyboard, say for example on PC, I also have a piece of software right here that isn't a hack or a mod menu, and it doesn't interact with any specific game's code directly, so you won't be getting banned. It's called an auto clicker, and what it does is every few seconds, it'll actually simulate a mouse click or a button press on your behalf, depending on how you've configured the app. I use OP Auto Clicker. It's available on the Microsoft Store, and based on the reviews, it's very safe to use. But you can honestly use any auto clicker of your choice or key macro, as long as you're downloading from reputable sites, that is. And if you want the PC equivalent of a rubber band AFK, here's how you do it. Walk into your Terabyte, angle your controller towards the console, and put some kind of weighted object on the W key. This way, your character will keep walking forward into the master control terminal, and the game won't kick you out. And the best part is, whenever you're able to play again, your master control terminal is right there, so you can immediately view your stock levels and resupply all your businesses, or even do a sell mission. Pretty neat, right? Of course, if you actually plan on using your PC while GTA Online is running in the background, this won't work because you can't use your W key. However, if you're leaving your PC for a while, or if you're going to bed, or going outside, or anything like that, you can use this technique to make sure that your nightclub, your bunker, your MC businesses, your acid lab, all of these are generating product in the background while you're AFK. Okay, so those are the physical hacks that I can think of. Things that Rockstar cannot really patch because they don't rely on in-game systems. But what about methods that don't require rubber bands tied to your controller or weights on your keyboard? You know, something a bit more refined that can be done within the game itself. Well, today's your lucky day because I've got a few more AFK techniques that I've tested just in the last few days alone before uploading this video, and I can absolutely confirm that they're still working as of right now in January 2026. So, method number 1, this is the taxi blocking trick, and it's different than the OG taxi method, and here's how you do it. First, you call up the downtown cab company and have them send a taxi to your location. It could be anywhere, but the best spot to do this is on a narrow road of some kind, so you can cause a traffic pileup behind the taxi and prevent it from reversing. You place a marker down on the map, and this is where you're going to tell the driver to go once you're inside of the taxi. It doesn't have to be any specific place, as long as it's somewhere nearby, ideally on the very same street. Then, once the cab arrives, summon your Sparrow helicopter from the service menu and park it as close to the front bumper of the taxi as you possibly can. What this is going to do is glitch out the driver AI, and even though what the driver is going to do is try to maneuver around your Sparrow that you spawned in, after a while, he's just going to give up and get stuck on the Sparrow's landing skid, and that's it. You can now go AFK for as long as you want, doing whatever you want on your PC or console while the game stays active in the background. You'll never get kicked out of the lobby because the game just thinks that you're in the world's slowest taxi of all time. For method number 2, I just need you guys to open up your game menu and go into the online tab. Scroll down till you see this part that's called credits and legal. Now let the credits roll for a few seconds, and then what you need to do is slow them down and keep slowing it down until it comes to a full and complete stop. And that's it. You can now tab out of the game or leave your console, go make a sandwich, take a nap. The game will keep running and your businesses will keep printing cash. Sometimes the credit method can also be a bit finicky, and what happens is you may get kicked out after you resume the game from your credit screen, but that doesn't happen very often, so I suggest you guys try out the credits trick and let me know if it works for you, because I have had a bit of luck with this one in the past during the Money Fronts update, and I confirmed while recording this video that it's still working in 2026. Maybe Rockstar will patch this at some point, but right now, this is probably the easiest AFK trick you can do in the game. I've also seen some folks talk about the LS Car Me AFK trick, where you go into the LS Car Me, pick a car, drive it around in the test drive area, and then when you go back into the car meet, you stay in this pause menu right here. Well, I tried this one in particular, and it didn't work for me on Expanded and Enhanced on PC because I was kicked out only after 15 minutes like normal. I haven't tested this one on console yet, but you guys might want to give it a try and see if that works for you. I've also seen some posts about the orbital cannon surveillance camera glitch and the nightclub camera trick, but those are two methods from years and years ago, and I know for a fact that some of these were patched. Most of the camera tricks were patched, so maybe someone has figured out a new AFK trick in regards to cameras, or something you need to do beforehand to trick the game, or maybe even someone's working on a new AFK trick with the mansions, but right now we're still waiting on some new ones in regards to those. By the way, I also haven't tested this one thoroughly, but apparently there's also a new AFK glitch with your mansions where if you go outside and lean on this glass section right here next to the garden, it won't kick you out. I haven't been able to replicate it, but if this one does indeed work for you, you guys might want to keep it on the down low so we get a bit more time before Rockstar patches it out of the game. And yeah, I mean, those are all the current working 2026 AFK techniques for GTA Online that I have for you guys right now, but if you want to make the most out of this AFK money farm in the game, you'll have to make sure that your passive businesses are of course set up correctly, both in terms of supplies as well as upgrades. So make sure you have your equipment upgrades purchased for your nightclub, your bunker, your acid lab, as well as your MC businesses. You'll also need some staff upgrades where available, for example, with your salvage yard. Then right before you go AFK, hit up a master control terminal. If you're using the credit screen technique, just spawn into your mansion, resupply every business from your master control terminal, and go AFK. If you're using the taxi plus the Sparrow method, just call up Mutt to fill up your acid lab with supplies, then call your terabyte and walk inside to buy supplies for your bunker and MC businesses. I also suggest, if you have the mansions, well, enabling the mansion production speed boost for your businesses, as it gives you a 200% production speed buff to any passive business of your choice. Personally, I'd use the mansion buff with either the acid lab or the bunker, as those are the two best candidates in terms of profit per hour. And then I'll leave you with probably the most important thing ever. If you're outside of an interior property, make sure you're not registered as a CEO or even a motorcycle club president so that you won't get raided. For some of your businesses, if you have the security upgrades and then you have the mansion purchase with the mansion security, you won't get raided anyway. But if you're not one of those players, make sure you're not registered as an organization leader so that you will not get raided for said business while you're AFK trying to farm money in the background. But that's all I've got for this video. I really want you guys to log into the game and test these methods out so we know which ones are the most reliable and which ones don't work anymore, because I know some differ per platform. And if you know any other other interesting AFK techniques that are still active right now in 2026, well, please feel free to share them in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to drop a like on it if you guys enjoyed and found the information helpful. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are new and you want to see more GTA 5 content just like this. I upload GTA Online videos every single day. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, adios amigos.